So here we are in another wonderful Sunday with ZGR, Zeta Global Radio. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Lady Savante Wolkin, and I am so glad to be here to share with you this wonderful topic today about mindset. Maybe simple to others, and some maybe not so much, because mindset is really everything, incorporated with our spiritual values and manifesting. We really need to bring all the elements together. And we are going to be sharing a ton of tips today on bringing your mindset into total harmony here with two wonderful, wonderful beings to help you get on the course of mindset personally and professionally and how all of it ties in together. So let's get right into it. I'm very excited to announce my first host. We've been trying to get together on this show for a very long time, so here we are. This is great. Shelly Wilson, she is an author, intuitive medium, a conscious creator. She does a lot of things, including being a Reiki master, and she's going to share many, many ways that we can bring ourselves into wonderful, wonderful one accord. So welcome to the show, Shelly. Yay, you're here.
Thank you so much, Lady. I'm so glad we finally had this opportunity to connect in this way.
Yes, and I have a feeling there may be more, but we'll whet the audience's appetite with a little bit of, because you do a lot of different things. I only alluded to it, but maybe just give a little introduction of all the world of Shelly, and then we'll get into these wonderful tips we'll talk about today.
Absolutely. Well, as you indicated, I work as an intuitive medium, so I work with clients on an individual basis. I also am a Reiki master, and I love teaching and speaking and just helping people on their individual journey into consciousness. So this is my passion, and I feel my purpose in life.
So has this been your purpose in life at a certain time where I ask people this a lot, like that wake up aha moment, or were you raised in a spiritual family, or sort of what's the background? Because I'm always curious to know where people go and turn sort of that left direction and open up to their, the greater truth of who they are.
Absolutely. Well, I always recognize that from the beginning, I was a very sensitive kid. I was raised in an environment where Baptist was our religion, and my dad was a civil engineer. And so that kind of sets the tone for the environment I was raised in. And it wasn't until 2008, literally, and I had been seeking answers. We asked those questions: who am I? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? And it was during a session with Stephanie Barton, and she told me exactly everything that I needed to hear. And literally, Lainey, what she said to me is, she said, Shelly, I just have to tell you, your purpose is to shine your light on others so that others see the truth of who they really are. You are meant to heal hearts one by one by one. You see people differently than they see themselves, and that's how you make a difference. And from that moment forward, it changed my life because I knew I just had to be me.
Yeah. Did you have in that moment, because I'm having goosebumps with you just sharing that, just like the truth. I do tarot, and when I see people just kind of wake up to that, like, yes, this is who I am. It's the greatest satisfaction, isn't it, to see people come in, like you said, come into the truth of who we are.
And so many times people just exist. They are not living their life fully. And I think when we have that realization that in every moment our purpose is to show up as who we are for this human life experience, it changes everything.
And so at that point, did you know in what way you'd be doing it, or was it a series of circumstances that led you to do the different modalities? And obviously being intuitive, that's just natural, it comes in, but then you hone it a little bit through practice. But curious to see what you went into first before you kind of went into the full portfolio you offer now. And of course you write books on top of that.
Right. Well, the first thing actually was Reiki, and I knew that I was already channeling the energy. I've had essential tremors since I was young, and also had a diagnosis of epilepsy and migraines. And once I began the Reiki attunement and the training, I realized I was just super sensitive to energies. And that's one of my psychic abilities, is being clairsentient or a feeler. And from there, I began developing then my psychic abilities even more so, as well as my mediumistic abilities. And I've had the pleasure of studying with Lisa Williams, Tony Stockwell, James Van Praagh, and John Holland. So just some amazing teachers on my path.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, we are gifted to have you here today. So to not only to share all the things that you've learned from all these wonderful masters, but also really to hone in on what mindset is. I mean, it's such a vague term. There's so many terms we use in our spiritual dictionaries, but mindset, of course, is one of them. And so I just would love you to just start off sharing what that really means to you and to our audience, and why it makes such a difference in having that focus, whether we go into the whole aspect of vibrational frequencies or wherever you want to go, I'm here. So take it away.
Awesome. Well, the first word that comes to me, or the first definition when I think of mindset, is literally our attitude, how we choose to view the world, how we choose to view ourselves, and so on. And so we recognize too that perception, which is how we view the world through our five senses, comes into play. And a lot of times when we begin waking up, we begin seeing things from that higher or soul perspective, as I like to refer to it. And we just begin seeing that bigger picture versus just functioning on our five senses as being human. Now, Lainey, I fully believe that as a human being, we are intended to experience this human life experience in all of its amazing opportunities as well as our challenges, that spectrum of emotions, but we're also these spiritual beings. And so balancing that spirituality and sometimes even bringing religion into play when we talk about spirituality is so very important. So it's all about us having this experience. And a lot of it is how we choose to view the world.
Well, I think that the views of the world are fastly becoming difficult. And so the mindset is ever more so important on how to have the mindset help us stay grounded. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to talk on some of your favorite tips on how to do the mindset piece, because that does not affect everything else that we're doing. It's everything.
Everything. And when I talk about our world, just to clarify, I personally believe that we've got to come back to our point of view and make ourselves the center of our own universe. So when we look at our perspective through our eyes, through everything we experience, it's always from our point of view. And so then when we begin looking at our energy and everything that surrounds us, that kind of gives it a different frame of reference as well.
No question about that. So we have a few minutes left still in this first segment. Do you want to maybe share some ways to hone in on our mindset, or what something that actually best practices when we start to get derailed, when we start looking outside of ourselves for satisfactions, acknowledgement, or any of the aspects where we are so concerned about everyone else's expectations or what they think of it. I know these are all big pieces that get brought up continuously, and that throws off our mindset. But if we're clear in our mindset, then all those things are unaffected. So I thought maybe we could even just share some ideas that you share with your clients on how to improve that and stay a little steady on the course.
Absolutely. Well, the first thing that is coming to me to express is to remember that everything is energy. Everything. And when we start thinking about energy, vibration, frequency, and just come back to this moment in time, our thoughts, our words, our actions, our emotions, how we choose to respond, all of that is an energetic vibration. And once we begin tuning into that, having the awareness of that, we know that that is an energy also that we're creating with. And to me, a lot of vibration, that frequency, it's that energetic emission or radio signal that we're sending out. And once again, that's the energy we're creating with.
Well, it's perfect that you went first, because what you just said is that we are creating with it. So, of course, we'll have Melody Spencer on the second segment, or second half of the show. And so you feel, based on what you said, what we create is everything. It's not separated, really. Although we created a personal and a professional on the show, everything's intertwined. It's all one. Would you? Yeah. So where should we go next? Do you feel like we can, is there like a go-to, like top 5 things, or, what do you sense is the best way to help our audience know? People who are listening to the show are really could be just waking up, just hearing about some of these topics that are new and brand new, and others who've been walking it a long time and just need those really strong reminders on how to stay strong.
Well, the first thing that's coming to me now at this point, because I always have things come to me, Lainey, but the first thing is just talking about literally vibrations and just taking a moment to identify the difference between the two. So, first of all, lower or what we deem heavier vibrations are those vibrations that stem from reaction to an outside source. So we can think of that as fear energy, as worry, doubt, lack, depression, anger, and so on. And these energies tend to quickly zap our energy. And also, they can tend to inhibit us or restrict us. So tapping into that, becoming aware of that, even also if we feel like we're struggling, out of control, helpless, angry, judgmental, or judged, worrying about what people think about us, that's whether we call it being a victim or not, we're still living in that victim consciousness and vibration. And then on the other hand, we have those higher vibrations. Those are the feel good. They're powerful. They're easy to identify. They tend to be heart centered. They're light. They're bright. They're playful, peaceful, grateful, loving, and so on. And that's that energy of abundance that we want to work with. And when we start tuning in to those vibrations around us, those people, places, and things, that's going to help us to become more in tune with our own energetic vibration. And the thing is once we begin changing our perspective, even our mindset, we can change our vibration, which in turn will change our life.
Love it. Let's talk more when we take a break. We'll come back and learn all about how to be abundant, prosperous, healthy, wealthy, and all those things, because it starts with our mindset, as Shelly's telling us. You're listening to Zeta Global Radio. We'll be back in a moment.
Trice Massage Therapy and Skincare is Southwest Florida's premier holistic and wellness spa to relax and rejuvenate your well-being. Founded by Lucille Trice, this enlightened haven located in Cape Coral offers a variety of massage therapies including Swedish, deep tissue, and trigger point massage. Trice offers detoxifying body wraps and facials using natural organic ingredients to pamper your skin and restore balance and health. Visit their Trice Massage Therapy and Skincare Facebook page or call 239-672-0526 and book your experience today. Mention ZGR and receive a complimentary ionic foot detox experience. Conscious businesses, do you have a powerful prayer, meditation, affirmation, audiobook, or music that you're ready to bring to the global stage? Have you considered taking your enlightened gifts to the next level by recording them professionally so the world can hear your knowledge and wisdom? Enlightened Audio and Sound is your production source for taking your talents and making them and you known all over the planet. Record in a magical setting with the expertise of renowned music engineer, composer, and recording artist Howard Merlin Wolkin. Will not only assist you in developing a concept that can be recorded with top-level commercial quality, but will also assist you in bringing your media asset to market in a variety of mediums, including digitally to iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and thousands of more outlets. To learn more, visit our Facebook page, Enlightened Audio and Sound, about bringing your business and career to new heights.
So if you were just tuning in earlier, we were sharing lots of details about how to be abundant, how to be creative, how to manifest, and it all starts with the attitude. So take it away, Shelly. You could just continue on from where we were because it's really good stuff.
Good. Well, another thing that is coming to me is definitely, as we are aware of our energetic emission, as I said before, the thoughts, the words, the actions, really checking in and reminding ourselves what we actually have control of. Now, as I talked before about, our interactions with the world around us, our perspective of the world, and so on, know that there are only so many things you have control of. And so we tend to get caught up in that energetic vortex of things we can't control. And so when we come back to we only actually have control of how we choose to feel or respond or what we perceive, that changes a lot. And I always love going back to the book, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz.
Oh, I love that book. Yeah.
That may not be familiar with it. The first agreement is be impeccable with your words. So it's always say what you mean, speak your truth. The second one is don't take things personally. What other people say and do is not because of you. The third one is don't make assumptions. And the fourth one is always do your best, knowing that your best will change depending on how you feel. Now, lately, I hear a lot of people say they're trying. And to me, trying evokes doubt. And if they just switch the words around, and in those times when they're saying they're trying to do this, just say, I'm doing the best I can. Right away, that's just an energy shift, and that will help our mindset as well.
Can you go back to the second agreement? Because that's a really tough one, even for the strongest and most evolved. So that, to me, if you can touch on that or extrapolate and expand, would be very helpful for people who are trying to keep their mindset, because I mentioned that earlier, and you just touched on that through that wonderful second agreement.
Yes. So the second agreement, don't take things personally. What other people say and do is not because of you. So many times we get caught up in what people say or what they don't say, and we take it personally. And remember, we do have the power of how we choose to respond. So people may say or do things that you feel are geared towards you, and yes, you can receive them that way, or you can simply be the observer in those instances, and then you choose how to respond. Now, I'm a firm believer that no one can actually make us feel a particular emotion. Now, they may say or do something, and we choose to react or respond. And to me, those energies are very different. Even how the word sounds very different. But it's up to us to actually feel those emotions. So if people let us down, we may feel disappointed, but they can't actually make us feel that way.
That's a really good point. And I think when you have the sort of the energetic litmus test, you really can get a sense of, like, once you know energetically how it feels inside, how your body's responding, you can get a better sense of, like, that's not right for me, that is right for me, that's in alignment, that's in resonance, that's not. And I think what we want to do today is really to teach people that, is to be your own, it's like be your own doctor, be your own indicator, and it starts with being in control of your mind more than anybody else. So what you're saying today is just wonderful.
Thank you. And people can say things, and as the saying goes, words have the power to hurt, or words have the power to heal. And once again, words are energy. So if we just become more conscious and aware and awake and tuned in to those words that we're expressing, that is going to not only change our life, but it will have a ripple effect for those around us.
No question. So where can we go next? Are there other practices? Do you do other, I know you said you do Reiki, are there personal practices that people could do at home, in addition to, of course, take sessions and classes with you? And we'll talk more about that, and let's make sure we mention all that, how they can do that with you.
Absolutely. Well, one of the practices that I feel is very essential in our life is to incorporate some type of meditation into your daily activities. And for some people, they believe meditation means sitting silently for long periods of time. And that may work for some, but a lot of people are busy living their life. So even taking a few moments and just doing some conscious breathing, or maybe listening to a favorite song, or even going for a walk and taking note of the sights and sounds around you can be very meditative. And then also bringing in mindfulness. And mindfulness is all about being in the moment in whatever task you're doing. So to me, being in the moment, being present, but also knowing that we are human and have our lives, so we're going to plan things, is important. But just check in with ourselves. Where is our energy? Is our energy in the now, or is our energy more focused in the past, reliving all of those coulda, wouldas, those what ifs and so on? Or is it in the future, just constantly thinking about what's going to happen next? So doing that check-in, where's your energy, to me is very important for our own mental health, our physical well-being, and part of this mindset and our personal growth.
That piece about being present is so critical. I'm so glad you touched on that. And that is, to me, the cornerstone, because our mindset, absolutely, I've used the word a lot today, derailed, but it really does derail when we're so focused anywhere but right now. Like, what are you going to do in the next 5-10 minutes? I mean, it's almost like you have to simplify it that much.
Absolutely. And one thing I want to add too, Lainey, is once again, we have the power of how we choose to respond to external circumstance. So sometimes there's chaos or there's things that are happening. And if we just come within and center our energy, and literally I like to visualize lots of white light at our core in that solar plexus, and then see that white light shifting to yellow. Then once we have that peaceful, calm feeling, we can choose how we respond. Or we can get caught up in circumstances and let chaos take over. And that tends to not feel very good at all. And that can really pull our energy and we become scattered.
Well, if people want to spend more time with you, learning more of what you do, do you do sessions, workshops, classes? Tell us more about the bigger world of Shelly Wilson.
Yes, I absolutely connect with people all over the world, literally. We can do a session via phone or via Skype, and you can contact me at shellyrwilson.com. You want to make sure you put that R in there to connect with me. And also, if you're in the Tulsa or Arkansas area, I do a lot of classes. I also work some spirit fairs as well. But as I said before, my passion is absolutely to help people on their journey into consciousness.
Another piece, thank you for that. Another piece I want to mention that you are an intuitive medium, and I know that mindset for people who want to connect. Do you connect with spirits and others, people from the other side? Or because I was just thinking that mindset also is good for people to see an intuitive if they're looking to get their mindset back in balance, if they're so far thinking in the past because someone has passed, or in the future. But I just wondered if that was a part of your world, that you work on that.
Yes, and to clarify, I prefer the word intuitive only because of its connotation of the word psychic. It means of the soul, and so I do have psychic abilities, can connect to your energy, offer you insight. I am not a fortune teller. I will honor your free will, but I'll give you tools to help you on your journey. And then I also work as a medium, which is connecting to those that have crossed over. So many times, Lainey, it does bring help and healing and wellness to us by connecting to those that have crossed over.
Yeah, I think that's a really big piece, because mindset, or how your mindset is affected, can come in a variety of ways. And so I wanted to just touch in that that's an important piece too. I know that through when I work with people and do tarot readings. And I love that you said that I'm not a fortune teller and I'm not a psychic. I don't use those words either, because those words are so vibrationally out of alignment for who I am. It's definitely higher wisdom from spirit. And so I'm glad you mentioned that too. And helping to use all these different modalities, no matter what they are, is just what we're asking people to do today. Is if you can learn on your own or to seek it from others, listen to the show, listen to the tips that Shelly and Melody's going to share in a little bit here too, are for you to really expand your own awareness. So we only have another minute here left. Any last bit of advice or suggestions you'd like to share?
Yeah, I'm just hearing, always check in with yourself, practice discernment, and whatever resonates with you, know that it's perfect for you. Each one of us is having our own human life experience, so do your best not to compare your journey to others, and just be at peace with where you are.
I love that. Well, thank you for being here. It's wonderful having you. Do you want to just talk about your books really quickly? We still have another, little bit here, like 30 seconds. So let's share about that. Yeah.
I have 3 books available: 28 Days to a New You, Connect to the Within, and Journey into Consciousness. And those books are available through Amazon as well as through my website, and they're also available as ebooks.
Wonderful. All right. Well, why don't you stick around, everybody? Thank you, Shelly. Hold on a sec, and we're going to just take a break here. Thank our wonderful sponsors for supporting Zeta Global Radio. When we come back, we'll share story time and wonderful mindset best practices with Melody Spencer. You're listening to Zeta Global Radio. We'll be back in a moment.
The Holistic Chamber of Commerce in Southwest Florida now has chapters in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. If you have a holistic business or practice and want to network with like-minded beings in the medical and healing arts, natural and eco-living and spiritual communities, you're welcome to come to a meeting and see what we're all about. For more information, please visit www.holisticchamberofcommerce.com and select your nearest city. We look forward to seeing you soon. Isla Mujeres is a Caribbean jewel off the coast of Cancun. Castilito del Caribe warmly invites you to enjoy our spectacular oceanfront villa located in the heart of El Centro and a short walk to Playa Norte, which is ranked one of the top 10 beaches in the world. With an ocean view of crystal clear turquoise waters overlooking both the Caribbean and Cancun city skyline, we offer a fabulous location for you to enjoy all the peace and tranquility you're looking for on vacation, while also taking in all the excitement the island has to offer, with activities either in walking distance or a golf cart day excursion away. Please visit CastilitoCaribe.com, www.CastilitoCaribe.com, and be sure to mention ZGR to receive a complimentary round-trip airport transfer for up to 4 people. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Welcome back. Thank you so much, Shelly, for an incredible way to start this show off with mindset for personal life, personal development. And of course, we need that for ourselves so we can actually model that, be that for ourselves as we step into that role of an empowered business woman or businessman. And right now we're going to talk about empowerment, mindset, and success, and how all those intertwine together with Melody Spencer, who is a marketing strategist. She has an incredible business, Swiftly Social. She works with conscious female entrepreneurs and businesswomen and men, and who are really looking to further their game, up-level their life, and really get into that mindset of success. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Melody Spencer.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here today, for sure. And I thought what we should do is maybe give people just a quick little intro from your perspective of what you've done, who you are, why you know mindset is key, and going from sort of A to Z and really turning on the success gene, if you will. So take it away, Melody.
Yeah, so I started my business 6 years ago. I left my normal 9-to-5 job because I had high anxiety and depression. I hated my job. It just wasn't helping my life at all, and I really felt like life was too short to keep doing something you hated.
Yeah.
And I had a background in marketing. I loved marketing. So I just decided to say, screw it, I'm going to see what happens.
Were you doing marketing, or you were doing something totally different?
Administrative assistant. So I had a background in marketing. I was doing marketing on the side for a few friends' businesses, and I had a degree in it. But of course, I graduated college right when the recession hit. So there weren't really those jobs available. So I kind of had to do what I had to do to make money and get by. So I left my job 6 years ago, started my own thing, and I promptly worked my butt off. I hustled and hustled and hustled. I had no boundaries in my life. I worked 100 hours a week, didn't have any pricing. It was like wishy-washy for everybody. I just was like, oh, you want to give me money? Okay, sure.
So you weren't really in the mindset consciousness at that point. So you were in the let's see what sticks and throw it against the wall mindset.
In the hustle till you can't hustle anymore club.
Yeah.
So by year 4, I was so burnt out. I did not know what my name is most of the time because I was so tired and just making such piddly money because I had no boundaries and no respect for myself. So fast forward to about a year and a half ago, I was kind of at my wit's end, and I was like, okay, either I've got to change something in my life and business, or I'm just going to go back to a regular job because I can't do this anymore. That's not what I signed up for when I decided to work for myself. I need to change something.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like the grass is always greener.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Because you think it's all, freedom and this location-independent lifestyle. No, I was chained to a desk. I was working all the time. I was so stressed out. So I met this incredible coach named Susie Koifer in her Facebook group. And I felt like she was kind of expensive at the time. It wasn't making very good money, but she offered a $100 one-on-one session about mindset. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I'll do this. So I did that session with her, and I immediately was like, oh, I have to work with her longer. Like, she just started breaking things down and letting me see how mindset work could really help shift my business. So I signed up, I ponied up the money, and I signed up to work with her for 2 months. And literally those 2 months changed my life.
Like night and day?
Like night and day. Like, I all of a sudden understood where my issues were coming from. I say it was almost like therapy, because it was like therapy for me and my business.
Yeah.
Because I understood where my blocks were, what were holding me back, how to start journaling again and meditating and just giving myself compassion and self-care, because I was not doing that at all.
Well, that's what I was actually just saying in the intro, is how important it is to have the mindset personally. That's why starting off with Shelly was so perfect, because we need to have that so we can move into truly modeling that in our business sector.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I really was about getting in a habit of putting myself first, which we've been taught as women not to do. So I was putting my business first, but because I was doing that, I let the rest of my life just fall by the wayside. Mm-hmm. And I needed to be strong within myself to grow my business.
Was the money coming in? I mean, you achieved that piece, but then there were some other pieces that fell out of balance?
Well, I was very stuck in my money. That's why later this year I had to work on my money mindset. Mm-hmm. Because I kept getting to a certain threshold, and I knew I could get further than that, but something was blocking me. And so I had to work with my money mindset coach to figure out what that was and how to get over that hump.
So, okay, great. So why don't we, if you can, do you want to share some of the best tips? I know we have another segment to do, but we still have a couple minutes left in this one to maybe talk about some of the key factors for you that you, A, model, B, maybe impart to your clients to help them get to, and maybe, actually even before I do that, let's tell people a little bit what you do too, because you're a strategist as well in business. So let's give people a sense of what you do and how you use the craft of mindset with your clients.
Yeah, so I am a digital marketing and Facebook ad strategist. So I really help my clients to understand what they should be doing with their marketing, how to put the best messaging in action to get the right clients. And part of that for me is, before you even start an ad campaign or a marketing campaign, you need to have the right mindset around that. You need to say, okay, this is going to be successful, and this is why, and I'm going to reach out and help these people because of this. A lot of people kind of just fly by the seat of their pants, and they hope and pray their marketing strategies will work, but they don't have the key components lined up, and they don't have a mindset shift that's going to get them there.
Without question, there's no doubt. So you help them do that, and the best person to know how to do that is someone who's been through it themselves, right?
Yes, because I feel like I talk about it all the time with friends and clients. I'm like, oh, you're not journaling, you're not meditating, you're not, like, it's just shocking how many people aren't doing these things, and they're like, I don't understand why I'm stuck in X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, well, you're stuck in X, Y, and Z because you're not working on getting out of that.
So one of your main practices is, well, first off, I love meditation and journaling, but those are key mindset focusers, or how would you position it?
Yes, so I have a whole routine in the morning and the evening now that I do. And part of that is waking up early with intention, making my space clean, so making my bed, get in my cup of coffee or tea, and then I meditate for 10 to 15 minutes, and then I will what I call just monkey mind journaling, so just like whatever's in my brain.
Yeah, I call it freeform writing. Just let the pen hit the paper and let it roll.
And then I will write down 3 tasks I need to do for the day, and then I will talk about, I will do a gratitude list, an intention list, and then I will write out what I want to manifest for the month or the year or the day or whatever. So it's a lot of journaling. A lot of people would be like, "Ooh, that's a lot of work." But really, all of that's about an hour, and that's how I start my day. And if I don't do that, I feel like a complete basket case.
Well, I'm so glad you touched on that. My morning practice is also an hour. And I used to think, well, how can I shorten this? And it's like, really, why would I want to shorten this? Because this is where the gold is. This is where the vibrational up-leveling of our frequency is in this work. So I highly agree with you to give yourself an hour of sacred me time to really get going. Because I agree, that's where your mindset gets set. That's exactly right.
Completely changes the way my day and my week is, for sure.
So I think we have time for one more piece in that. When you mentioned the meditation, do you follow a particular type of meditation, or what is like meditation so varied in scope? And I always just want to get clearer with each guest. Like, well, what does that mean to you, to our audience?
It kind of depends on the day. So sometimes I will do like a quick meditation, guided meditation. Meditation.
It is medicine. It's mind medicine, isn't it?
Flip, yeah. From like Alexa has a lot of great like guided meditations, because I have an Alexa in my living room where I usually sit. So I'll do those. I've also tried different apps on my phone, but the one I go to the most is I always get the name wrong. Like, it's basically these synchronized beats that help relax your brain, like binaural beats or something. I don't know. It's called like Brain Sync, I think. My mentor got me into it. I have a high performance habits mentor who is all about meditation and stuff. So it's these beats it's like a meditation, and then these synchronized beats that kind of synchronize your brain and get you in a deep flow state. So I'll listen to that, and I'll just kind of breathe, and I'll do that for 15 to 20 minutes sometimes.
That sounds delicious. I need to know more. I need to know more about that. That sounds like another show entirely just on that. Well, why don't we do this? We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about more business mindset with Melody Spencer. You're listening to Lainey Savante Woken here on ZGR. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, Lainey Savante here, and I'd love for you to visit my new Facebook page for my private tarot and oracle session readings called Intuitive Wisdom. That's IN2 UITIVE Wisdom. Conscious strategies for manifesting a more harmonious life. Don't we all want to have that? Let's see what's in the cards for you as we look at what needs to be cleared, expanded upon, and evolved. There's a lot to explore when we take a deeper look inside ourselves.
Spiritual Communities Network, where we honor the uniqueness in our oneness. Visit our website to meet our vast spiritual community of healers, therapists, conscious events, and activities. Visit and check out our directory, upcoming retreats, workshops, products, free videos, and much more. Many services are available globally by phone, Skype, and other sources of media. You'll also find more information on how you can be a member to promote the work you're doing in the world. Visit us now at spiritualcommunitiesnetwork.com.
So, the last segment, Melody and I were talking about this incredible, important need to do a morning practice. And I am a big believer, and we were just talking off air about how an evening practice is equally as important, because we fill the whole day up with stuff, and now we need to dump all that. We need to clear it so we can go into a very peaceful dream state. I'm a big believer in the nighttime, like honoring the dreams, honoring everything that happens in that realm. So tell us more about that, because that's definitely part of mindset, don't you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I used to have a terrible sleep habit. I have high anxiety, and that would really hinder my sleep. But since I've created a night, like an evening practice, and really value the time I go to bed, that has just helped my whole life just get into a better state in my sleep. So it's a little crazy, but I turn my phone off by 8 or 8:30, and I put it in another room so I will not be tempted to check my phone.
You're the second person in the last 3 days to say that that's what they do. So that's a sign for me. Thank you. Thank you.
And then I love reading. I'm an introvert, and I really value my alone time. And luckily, my husband likes his alone time too. So he might be in his office playing video games, and I go into the bedroom and I'll read for about an hour, either a good fiction book or a really interesting nonfiction book. I'll read and then I'll journal. So I'll do journal prompts from my coach. She sends me journal prompts every week. So things that'll pull out little nuggets in my brain about business or life or myself that'll just kind of help me figure stuff out. Again, it's sort of like therapy. It helps you kind of like organize your thoughts a little bit.
Do you have some examples of those prompts?
Of course. I knew you were going to say that. And I was like, of course, I can't think of any right now.
Well, is it where do you see your business being in 5 years type of thing? Yeah.
Where do you place your worth? Like, where do you see your business growing? Like, who do you really want to help? Those are like, what makes you unique? Like, how do you uniquely share your message? Like, just stuff like that. But they're more in depth than that usually. But
well, I think what you're touching on is really important. I think what I've always shared myself when I teach and facilitate is how important it is to use all your senses. And so if you can think what those journal prompts are, you could feel it, smell it, see it, touch it, like really embody it, that helps put the mind in a clearer state of focus, don't you think? Yeah.
So I'll journal, I'll read, and then, I get ready for bed, do all the stuff for my face and my teeth.
The routine.
Yeah, my routine. And then I will take a little bit of CBD oil because that helps me relax. And then I will either just read a little bit more or I will listen to those beats again because those beats really get you in like a relaxed theta state.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will go to bed. And usually I go to bed before my husband because he's a night owl and I usually try to go to bed by 10 or 10:30. Because I really, again, I value sleep. And the other thing that I do that really helps me sleep well is I use earplugs and eye mask, and it just blocks everything out. So I'm not, because we live on a busy street, so I'll hear stuff and the dogs will bark and my husband will get to bed, and it's so disruptive to your body.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have to be totally cocooned to really sleep well.
Wow, it sounds like me too. I definitely have to do the earplugs. Well, so we touched on morning and we touched at night. Any other practices you want to share? And by the way, while you're thinking of that, let's tell people about your podcast, because I didn't mention in the initial intro of you that you are also a fellow radio show host.
Yeah. So I decided to start my podcast, Biz Babes with Soul, back in May. I've been on a zillion podcasts and radio shows, but I never thought I would have a podcast. But it literally was an idea I had in the shower, and I couldn't get it out of my brain. So I felt like, well, gosh, now I have to do this. And it just kind of was born from there. Mm-hmm. So my show is about letting female entrepreneurs and business owners really share their stories honestly and authentically. So because I felt like there wasn't really a space for that currently, and women needed to be able to say, like, I'm having a crappy day, I need to talk about it, or my business is not being successful, I need to really speak about that without feeling shame.
Good point.
So yeah, it's been an incredible journey. It's growing really quickly. I've had 30 amazing interviews with women where we talk about not just business, we talk about grief and anxiety and depression and infertility and loss and just like everything, because it's all wrapped up into you and your business.
Nice. And I think I'm going to be on there soon. We have to schedule that. I'm excited. That'll be good. Okay, so we have just a few more minutes left. What can we leave our wonderful listeners with in terms of mindset for business? Because it's interesting. You mentioned different mindset coaches that you've worked with. And do you recommend that? Because you mentioned a money mindset person. I think you mentioned 3. But tell us, they're all different. So I want to know what we can tell the listeners. Like, does everybody need several different? Or what should we look for if someone's wanting to get further coaching? Or what can we tell them in the last few minutes that can help support their growth?
Well, I think if I were you, I would take some time to figure out where you feel like you're lacking confidence or just lacking knowledge. And if you feel like, well, I'm terrible with money, I don't understand why I'm stuck in my money, then you probably need a money mindset coach. Mm-hmm. If it's more general, then I would say go with a regular mindset coach. And if you're really ready to up level and you feel like I need to do the hard emotional level to really get to the next place in my business, then look for a high performance habits coach. They're all slightly different, but I feel like they all offer something unique and needed in whatever stage of business you're in.
Oh, you touched on a good point, because obviously somebody who's just coming out with a new idea, like leaving a 9-to-5 and wanting to start, is someone entirely different who's been in business a year, who's like, okay, they got past their first year, to someone who's been in business 5-10 years on their own and need a whole nother level. They want to up level to the next phase. And I think, and what you're saying is not everyone has to be an entrepreneur. I mean, it's also having a mindset if they want to get a promotion or they're in an executive job, right? It's for everybody.
Yeah, it's like I told one of my good friends, she's in a job she doesn't love, but she loves the company. And she was like, I just don't know what to do. And I said, girl, you just need to journal about it and manifest that. And I was like, and make yourself indispensable at that job. To learn some new skills, like let them know that you want to up level in that company. Yeah. It's like you're not going to get anywhere if you just sit on your butt.
So true. That's with life, right? You can't just put the prayer up to spirit or God or whoever you call your higher power and just, sit back and, eat bonbons until it shows up. You got to have that active energy, right? You got to really make it and co-create it.
Well, it's like your actions or your intentions or your intentions or actions or whatever that quote is. It's both like, you've got to believe it and also do something. You can't just sit there.
Yeah, without question. Well, you and I are definitely doers. I know that. And sitting is a luxury. But there's also, like you said, the value and the gold in that is to sit when it's important and receive too. Like that morning and evening time is that really good self-care that you mentioned of how important that is to receive, is to get that info could kind of get us going the rest of the time. So thank you for all that.
Yeah, well, and I think that the more I do that, the more I can receive new clients and money and, good things come to me because I'm open to it.
Exactly. How do people find you? Give us your website and then how they can listen to your show, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so my website is swiftlysocial.com. And my podcast is on all the major podcast platforms, but you can find it on iTunes, on Stitcher, on YouTube, everywhere. So I hope you'll tune in and listen. And if any of you out there are interested in being guests and you're a female entrepreneur, hit me up. I'd love to have you.
There you go. And I'm just going to say as an aside, Melody's going to do some wonderful magic with her skill set for Zeta Global Radio. So if you start to see us on Pinterest like crazy, it's because Melody had her hand in it. So thank you, Melody. We're excited to have you part of our team and look forward to helping you successfully see your show grow. It's the best way, really, that we have this platform to support people who really want to listen to really had to expand more in their lives. So I'm grateful that we have this and have this in common. So thank you for being here. Again, another thank you to Shelly Wilson. You can definitely learn more about them on our Facebook page, Instagram, our website, all sorts of different ways. So thank you all for being here. I hope you learned a lot, and be sure and subscribe to our Zeta Continuum YouTube page, and you can see and hear, well, not see, we're not doing visual, but you can definitely hear our show there and pass it on. Everybody have a great week. Melody, hold on a second. Everyone, thank you so much.